Hey everyone, welcome to the Market Mindset. When you talk Canadian gold, you talk about the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. We've done lots of articles on it, had lots of companies on. That's 450 kilometers stretch of metamorphic rock, has coughed up more than 200 million ounces over the past century. Fed an army of miners, minted more millionaires than any other patch of ground north of the 49th, from Kirkland Lake to Val-d'Or, you name it. Agnico Eagle, Newmont, all of them, IAMGOLD, have staked in that Cadillac Lake Fault. Of course, on the other side, everyone remembers Great Bear that we were involved in. But today we're zoning in on another company that has planted its flag right smack in the middle of the fault zone, and it's called Opawica Explorations. I hope I said that right. And this is we've got Blake Morgan, who's the president, CEO, and also like the number one shareholder. He's a constant buyer. I want to reiterate that because it's important with that management has its alignment in gear with that of investors. And we want to unpack this story because it's got obviously the postal code, it's got the geology, it's got a lot going for it. It's got great neighbors, and we want to see what's happening with the results, what's overall thesis, and really sink down into what is happening here with Opawica. So welcome, Blake. It's great to have you on. Tell us about the thesis here with the company.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I love the little intro. You actually got me quite excited, so that's fantastic. Look, I'll give you a bit of an overview of the company. Like you mentioned, we're in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. We're right next to the town of Ronderanda. So we have our 3 properties within 7 kilometers of the town. Our 2 flagship properties are the Bazooka and the Arrowhead property. All 3 of our properties have road, power, and water to all of them. And we also have a house in the town of Ronderanda. So we don't need to build camps and spend money where we don't need it. You know, we can basically put everyone in our house and we can drive to work. So, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about the Bazooka property, and then I'll dive into the Arrowhead property if you don't mind.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
The Bazooka property, we spent around $4 million on that over the last 4 or 5 years. We've done geophysics, airborne, ground geophysics, downhole. We've done an IP survey, and this is now our second drill program that we've just completed. Now, you know, we've got the Wasamac to our northwest that was bought out by Agnico Eagle. And we also have the Yorbo Resources property on the east that was just bought out for $25 million. So we're in a quite a prestigious area. Now, we just recently completed our drill program. We just did a small scale program of 3,300 meters. We've got a little bit over 10,000 meters of targets, but we wanted to get some numbers back on these drill results first before we went forward. So we're very happy with what we got out of these 13 holes. So we intersected gold on every single hole. We got 67.9 meters at 0.04 grams, so nearly 70 meters at a gram, which is fantastic. 7.5 meters at 3.65 grams, 6 meters at 2.1, 10 meters at 2.15 grams. So there's a couple of the intercepts we have, which is fantastic for such a small scale program. And, you know, we've got previous intercepts on that property, some really high grade stuff. For example, 6 meters at 77 grams, 20 meters at 7 grams, 7.7 meters at 20 grams, and the last one, 4.5 meters at 45 grams. So, you know, we have a bulk tonnage corridor and a really, really high grade zone. So now we've got those results back. We're going to have a look at a bit of the data. We've still got over 7,000 meters of drilling to go on that property, and we're hoping to get back to that as soon as possible. Now, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll jump into the Arrowhead, and that's our other flagship property. So as you can see from this map here, we're right next to IAMGOLD's Mushu mine. We're basically right up against Agnico Eagle's LaRonde mine, which is one of the premier gold mines in the world, basically. So we're actually completely surrounded, as you can see, by Agnico Eagle. Now, what we've done on this project is astronomical. We've done airborne geophysics, downhole geophysics, IP, and we've done a seismic survey. And this is where it gets really exciting for us. So we've got companies like Agnico currently drilling on our border of our property. Now, they're drilling quite deep holes there, and we were interested in why they're drilling these deep holes. So we threw a seismic survey down, which went down to about 1,200 meters. We can see a clear structure at 300 meters, 500 meters, and 1,000 meters. Now, the reason I mention that is because the LaRonde mine was discovered at 300 meters, extended to 500, extended to 1,000. So we have a very good lineup of seeing the same geology, the same pattern as what you're seeing there. The Arrowhead project was mined back in the 40s, and they're pulling out around 17 grams per ton. So quite high grade. So the plan is very simple there. We've done the hard work. We've got over 10,000 meters of targets to be drilled. We want to get back on the property this year, and we want to drill those targets and have a look what this seismic survey is showing. We're very, very confident on this property. Based on the geophysics and what we're finding, we this could be our number one property, we think, out of the two. So, we've got two shots at the title, and we've got our third property, which is also magnificent. It's a little bit more green. There's only been some geophysics. There's been 5 or 6 holes. But again, in those 5 or 6 holes, you still had over 3 meters at nearly 8 grams as well. So, like I mentioned, in the right area, surrounded by the elephants, we're getting amazing results. We've done the hard work, and now it's just time to drill.
And it's pretty exciting. I mean, that first Bazooka, those results were like at 320 meters down as well. So it's pretty shallow.
Yeah, so we had the larger hit was it was. We did have some near surface stuff under 100 meters as well that come back with a couple of grams. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's great because, like you mentioned, these different zones is that people are, I think, because they know the area pretty well, they know that these things can go down like 2 kilometers, like especially these types of systems in the Abitibi, like Kirkland Lake, they can go down deep, and it can sometimes be that stringy type of veins that go all the way down. So it's they can be big programs, that's for sure. But hitting gold and certainly in Bazooka that often it's a very good sign. It's certainly not a bad sign. But I guess people are really wanting to see probably more intercepts, or what do you think that people need to see to get them really excited, to get your neighbors kind of like frothing at the mouth?
Look, it's a hard one to say. I thought we'd get quite a good reaction, obviously, from these drill results, but the Canadian market is a little bit tough at the moment. So I think all we need is a bit more drilling, basically. We need to get back in, drill off the rest of these targets, build up a bit of a resource. What also is exciting is we've only looked at around 10% of the property. We still have 90% to explore. So we have 7 kilometers of the Cadillac Fault zone. We've only looked at around 600, 800 meters. So, maybe it's a bit more moving down the fault, expanding the resource. But, we're going to keep working at it. We've got the results there. It looks really, really promising. So we just need to keep drilling and getting results out to the market until something sticks.
And one of the things I mentioned right in the intro too, and it's important because we had spoken a little bit earlier, was the fact that you're a main supporter of this company as well. And that we always like to see, and I mean, not like, you need to see management align its goals with investors, and having someone that believes in the project, not only because they're the spokesman and they're driving the thesis, but shelling money into it as well. That's a big sign. It does mean a lot.
It does. And I've put over $1 million into this in the open market alone. So, people can go on Certifile and have a look. You'll see it's just my name constantly. And I think it shows the belief. If you don't have management with skin in the game, what's really going on? So I say you want to back your own projects, your own company. And with the Opawica, I feel like we have a really good shot with multiple properties. So I'm willing to put the money in to move things along, get the drilling going, and let's see what we can find.
And I like to throw this in too, because we didn't speak directly on some of your past as well, because it matters. Is that, I mean, you've worked at a BHP subsidiary, I think it was called BMA Metals, but that
BMA.
That means a lot. Rio Tinto as well. I mean, these are big companies that you've cut your teeth at in Australia, and you're in the postal code. I mean, that is a big deal. Like you're not off in the middle of nowhere up north somewhere, dealing with mountains and in the territories, where this is a lot, like I said, a lot of neighbors that are elephant hunting and producing as well. There's lots of news coming out from your neighbors, even in the last 6 months. So what, like, you're going to be drilling. What can you tell us about some of these targets? Is there anything you kind of hint at that we should be looking at over the next couple months or getting to winter season?
When it comes to the Arrowhead project, it's definitely the seismic. we put some news out. It was probably about a year ago, but we'll upgrade that and put some more stuff out so people can get a really good understanding of what we're going for here. But, that's the key. Drilling through where we can see this mineralization areas on the seismic survey. That's the plan for the Arrowhead. Once we start that, we'll know pretty quickly, how big this is. If we're hitting gold at 300 meters, which we've done before, we know it holds. Now we got to go down to 500. We got to go to a bit further. The good thing with these properties is they're open to every direction and they're open to depth. So we've only been doing this shallow drilling. And like you mentioned before, it gets exciting when you get a bit deeper. But being a junior explorer, obviously things are expensive. We need to plan these things out quite methodically. And, if we can hit some of these lower targets, these shallower targets, and not spend as much money during that process, that's fantastic for us.
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I guess it would be like if you can take like a comparable, like you're saying there with Arrowhead, and say, listen, we're finding these lenses. We're building this one out here, and it looks like this one. We're seeing this; it looks like that one. To a neighbor or someone else, that similar type of geology and structure and DNA, that becomes once again a lot more interesting to them as you start filling that out a bit more, filling a bit more of the details.
Exactly. And we do have NDAs with a couple of majors in our region. So we are very active in talking to them. We have received many offers from a fair few companies on these projects. But again, we always consider a joint venture. But our thesis is all we need to do is a bit more drilling. And we can take these properties from, $5-10 million range to 100-200 million very quickly. So that's our goal. And you know what it's like. It doesn't take much. A few more good hits and off she goes.
That's absolutely right. I mean, and yes, we're having a challenging junior market, especially in Canada with the overall market, but it doesn't take much. You can turn that around quickly with great results. What are, so you've got 7,000 meters drilling left to do for this season?
Look, so we're looking to try, again, we're going to have to get a bit more capital to pull this off. But we would like to drill the 10,000 meters on the Arrowhead next, complete that. Then we've got all the data back from the Bazooka. We'll go back and we'll do that 7,000 meters. So the high goal plan is 17,000 meters ready for the rest of the year. If we don't end up making that, we're hoping we at least knock off another 10,000 meters. So that's the plan. The good news is we can drill any time on these properties. So we're hoping to get this sorted in the next few weeks to a month or so and basically get back on the properties around the August time, start getting results out as everyone starts to come back from their summer holidays.
And you do have a lot of big fans as well, like people that are dire holders. They're big believers, and that's good to have, like shareholders who believe in the story. But more than that too, and it does mean something. You guys did win. Was it last year's Mines and Money Award? Magazine.
It was a Metals and Mining review.
Metals and Mining.
Gold Explorer of the Year for 2025. So we just got that about a month or two ago. I think West Red Lake Gold, so Justra's company, got it last year.
Yes.
So just a bit of recognition is fantastic for the hard work that we've been doing. So we've got a bit of recognition. We've got a nice successful drill program. Things are shaping up quite well for the company.
And I just want to throw this out there for people too, just to get a sense of distance from Bazooka. Like LaRonde is about 41 kilometers. They're producing about 320 ounces of gold a year. Agnico Eagle, Canadian Malartic, they're about 67 kilometers away. Yep. And they also, that's a 651 ounce deposit. Odyssey is ramping up as well. El Dorado is about 100 kilometers away. It's producing 180,000 ounces. So, I mean, you've got so much that is there in place if you start building this out even more. And this is what makes this area so exciting to everyone, is that there is no end to comparables to make when you have the data. And when you're seeing what you're seeing in regards, especially to Arrowhead, people like that, they can kind of visualize, oh, okay, if you're seeing the same type of lenses here, I need to pay a bit more attention. And that is exciting. What do we think in the short term that we need to be paying attention to for people that are interested in the story and they see this leverage? I think it's like 800 million that Agnico Eagle is putting into where was it here? Build out at Horn 5. And you guys, your let's say your rate of exponential growth, if you hit something, is certainly a lot higher than a build out that's already seen. You're at that early stage of the sine curve. What is it we should be paying attention to in the next few weeks, few months?
Yeah, you'll see the news. So what's the build up? I always like to get a bit of a build up before we get into a drill program. So, we're hoping to get a few more bits of news coming out over the next few weeks and then sort of lead into another drill program. But like I mentioned before, we have to look at a bit more financing. I don't want to go out and just drill a few thousand meters. I want to knock off the full 10,000 meters in this program. So we're talking to a few brokerage firms, some of our old shareholders. I don't think we'll have too much of a problem raising the capital. It just comes down to what price it will be, which is quite important for us because, we've only got 37 million shares out. So we are structurally absolutely beautiful. And then you've got the CEO who has the most shares out of anyone. So I don't want to obviously wreck that beautiful structure that we have.
Yes. And that's a very good point to make as well, that you're not sitting at blowing out 180 million shares out already or something like that. It's very tightly held, and you are a key shareholder. That makes a huge difference. And people like to see that. People always want things to be fast, and it's like, listen, it's mining, but it's more important to go. Let's think this out methodically because we've got a good structure, and we're going to need to raise money. But we've got a good story, and you certainly have all of it. I mean, you've got lots of indicators. The results, the assays are good. There's lots of positives with the overall challenging Canadian market, but that's is nonetheless it's not a big thing because people are very aware of gold right now, and I don't think we even need to talk about the gold situation. Everyone is quite well aware of how gold is doing, but this is a dynamic story that has a lot of potential, and we're going to keep our eyes open to it to see what you guys are able to do here, and watch for the results as well. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and reminding us as well about how great the Abitibi Belt is.
Well, Andrew, it's been a pleasure having me on. I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to updating your viewers as we move forward. And definitely, you can keep an eye out on our news. Have a look at us on LinkedIn. We're on all the socials, and obviously, you can check us out at www.opawica.com.
Excellent. All right, thanks so much. We'll talk to you real soon, and everyone have a good day. Take care.
Fantastic. Thank you.